Camping is a fun and exciting way to spend time outdoors with friends and family. It provides an opportunity to connect with nature, escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and create lasting memories. However, not everything always goes as planned. Let's delve into the top 9 things that ruin camping for everyone. Camping in the great outdoors is always an adventure, but sometimes that adventure can include uninvited guests of the wildlife variety. From curious raccoons to hungry bears, these creatures can quickly turn a peaceful camping trip into a chaotic mess. Here are some tips to avoid unwanted wildlife encounters. Keep a clean campsite. Wildlife is attracted to food, so make sure to properly store and dispose of all food items. Use bear-proof containers or hang food in a tree away from the campsite. Don't leave food out overnight, and clean up all dishes and cooking utensils immediately after use. Be aware of your surroundings. Keep an eye out for signs of wildlife, such as tracks or droppings. Listen for rustling in the bushes or trees, and keep a flashlight handy at night. If you do spot wildlife, give it plenty of space and don't approach it. Don't feed the animals. Feeding wildlife can cause them to become dependent on humans for food, which can lead to aggressive behavior. It's also illegal in many parks and wilderness areas. Use bear spray. If you're camping in an area with bears, it's a good idea to carry bear spray with you. Make sure to read the instructions and practice using it before you need it. Keep pets on a leash. Dogs and cats can attract wildlife, so keep them on a leash and close to you at all times. Don't let them roam freely around the campsite. Remember, wildlife is a natural part of the camping experience, but it's important to respect their space and avoid confrontations. By following these tips, you can help ensure a safe and enjoyable trip for everyone involved. Camping is all about enjoying the great outdoors, but the weather can sometimes put a damper on things. Rain is a common occurrence in many parts of the world, and it can put a real damper on a camping trip. Even a light drizzle can make things uncomfortable if you're not prepared. Make sure to pack rain gear, including a waterproof jacket, pants, and boots. Bring a tarp or 2 to cover your tent and gear. And don't forget to pack plenty of dry clothes. On the other end of the spectrum, a scorching sun can also ruin a camping trip. Make sure to pack plenty of sunscreen, hats, and lightweight, breathable clothing. Seek shade during the hottest parts of the day and plan your activities for early morning or late afternoon when it's cooler. And don't forget to stay hydrated by drinking plenty of water. No matter what the weather brings, a little preparation can go a long way in ensuring a successful camping trip. So pack accordingly and enjoy the great outdoors. Camping trips are not complete without a campfire. It's the perfect place to gather around, share stories, and roast marshmallows. However, campfires can also be the source of many camping catastrophes. Campfires can quickly turn into wildfires if not properly managed. It's essential to check if there are any fire restrictions in the area and follow them strictly. Always keep a bucket of water and a shovel nearby to put out the fire if necessary. Sitting around a campfire can be relaxing, but inhaling too much smoke can cause health problems. Make sure to sit upwind from the fire and avoid breathing in the smoke. Campfires are hot, and it's easy to get burned if you're not careful. Keep a safe distance from the fire and avoid wearing loose clothing that can catch fire. While campfires are an essential part of any camping trip, they can also be the source of many calamities. By following fire safety rules and being vigilant, campers can avoid these disasters and enjoy a safe and memorable camping trip. Camping is all about enjoying nature and getting away from the hustle and bustle of daily life. But when tent troubles strike, it can quickly turn a relaxing getaway into a nightmare. One of the most common tent troubles is forgetful campers. They forget to bring the tent poles, stakes, or even the tent itself. It's hard to have a camping trip without a tent, so forgetting it can be a real problem. To avoid this, make a camping checklist and double-check it before leaving. It's also a good idea to pack the tent last, so it's the first thing you see when you open the trunk. Another tent trouble is tent setup fails. Setting up a tent can be tricky, especially if it's your first time. Tent poles can be confusing, and it's easy to get them mixed up. And don't even get started on the rainfly. To avoid tent setup fails, practice setting up the tent at home before leaving for the campsite. And if you're still struggling, don't be afraid to ask for help from a fellow camper or campground staff. Tent troubles can be frustrating, but with a little preparation and practice, they can be avoided. So make sure to double check your camping checklist, practice setting up your tent at home, and don't forget to bring the tent itself. It's easy to get carried away when you're packing for a camping trip, but don't forget to plan your meals. Bringing the wrong food can be a recipe for disaster. Forgetting to pack a can opener or bringing food that needs to be refrigerated can leave you with a hungry and angry group of campers. To avoid an unplanned menu, make a list of meals and snacks for each day. Consider the cooking equipment you have available and pack accordingly. Don't forget to bring plenty of non-perishable food items like granola bars, trail mix, and canned foods. Wildlife is a big part of the camping experience, but it can also be a nuisance when it comes to food. Raccoons, squirrels, and bears are notorious for stealing food from campsites. To prevent wildlife food thieves, store all food in airtight containers or coolers. And when you're done eating, clean up thoroughly and dispose of all food waste properly. Remember, a little bit of planning and preparation can go a long way when it comes to avoiding food fiascos on a camping trip. Navigating through the great outdoors can be a challenge, especially for inexperienced campers. Getting lost in the woods is a classic camping mishap. It's easy to lose track of your surroundings, especially if you don't have a map or a compass. If you're not careful, you could end up wandering around for hours or even days. Waterways can be both a blessing and a curse when camping. On the one hand, they can provide a source of drinking water and a place to cool off on a hot day. On the other hand, they can be a real pain to navigate around. Rivers and streams can be difficult to cross, and if you don't have the right gear, you could end up getting wet or even swept away. Navigating through the great outdoors can be challenging, but with the right preparation and gear, you can avoid these navigation nuisances and enjoy a safe and fun camping trip. Camping is a great way to escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life and immerse oneself in nature. Unfortunately, nature comes with its own set of challenges, and one of the biggest challenges is the invasion of insects. Mosquitoes, flies, bees, spiders, and ants are just a few of the many insects that can ruin a camping trip. But fear not, for there are ways to combat the invasion of insects. Here are a few tips to keep the bugs at bay. Don't camp near water. While a campsite by the river may seem like a great idea, it can also be a breeding ground for insects like chiggers and mosquitoes. Instead, opt for a spot away from standing water. Use insect repellent. Insect repellent is a camper's best friend. Be sure to apply it regularly and according to the instructions on the label. Keep your campsite clean. Insects are attracted to food and garbage, so be sure to keep your campsite clean. Wear protective clothing. Long sleeves and pants can help protect against insect bites. Additionally, bright colors and floral prints should be avoided, as they can attract bees and other insects. Invest in a bug zapper. Bug zappers can be a great way to keep insects at bay. Just be sure to place it away from your sleeping area, as the sound can be quite loud. Remember, insects are a part of nature, and it's important to respect their place in the ecosystem. Camping trips are an opportunity to get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and enjoy nature. However, gadgets can make or break a camping trip. Here are some of the common gadget-related issues that can ruin a camping trip. Nothing is more frustrating than realizing that your flashlight, GPS, or phone has a dead battery. It's essential to bring extra batteries or a portable charger to avoid this issue. Otherwise, you might end up wandering around in the dark or without directions. It's tempting to bring every gadget that you own, but overpacking can lead to unnecessary stress and frustration. Not only does it take up valuable space in your backpack, but it can also be challenging to keep track of all your gadgets. Prioritize the essential gadgets and leave the rest at home. Gadgets can malfunction at any time, especially if they're exposed to the elements. Water damage, extreme temperatures, and rough handling can all cause gadgets to stop working correctly. It's essential to take care of your gadgets and protect them from the elements. Many gadgets rely on a signal, such as a GPS or phone. However, camping in remote areas can result in a weak or non-existent signal. It's important to have a backup plan, such as a paper map or compass, to avoid getting lost. Gadgets can be a great addition to a camping trip, but they can also cause unnecessary stress and frustration. It's essential to pack wisely, protect your gadgets, and have a backup plan in case of any issues. Camping trips are meant to be a time to relax and enjoy the great outdoors with friends and family. However, social blunders can ruin the experience for everyone. Here are a few common social blunders to avoid. 1. Loud music. It's great to listen to music while camping, but not everyone wants to hear your tunes. Be respectful of your neighbors and keep the volume down. 2. Overly talkative neighbors. Well, it's nice to make new friends while camping, but some people just don't know when to stop talking. If you find yourself next to an overly talkative neighbor, try politely excusing yourself and returning to your own campsite. 3. Inconsiderate campsite setup. When setting up your campsite, be considerate of your neighbors. Don't encroach on their space or set up your tent too close to theirs. Also, be mindful of noise levels when setting up camp late at night or early in the morning. 4. Not cleaning up after yourself. No one wants to camp in a dirty campsite. Be sure to clean up after yourself and dispose of trash properly. 5. Ignoring quiet hours. Quiet hours are in place for a reason. Be respectful of your neighbors and keep noise levels down during quiet hours. If you want to stay up late, consider moving away from the main camping area to a more secluded spot. Camping is all about enjoying nature and spending time with loved ones. By avoiding these social blunders, you can ensure that everyone has a great time. That's all for this video. Happy camping!